Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Big Shiny Coin podcast, where every week I ask the internet a gaming-related question and then share the best answers right here on the show. As always, the best way to get your answers on the show is to join the Big Shiny Coin Discord by going to somberdonstudios.com and clicking that big Join the Discord button at the top. Pretty hard to miss. Also, if you have any questions that you want me to ask on the show, not just answers, but questions that you'd like answers for, go to the Discord and tell me there. Tag me, and I will take a look and probably ask it on the show. I also post the questions on our Twitter at Somber_Don and at our Facebook on Somber Studios. So without further ado, let's get on to the question. The question of the week is, what game is extremely underrated? For me, this is an old GameCube game called Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Falsebound Kingdom. I feel like I'm the only person who ever knew about or played it. It was this weird mix of real-time strategy, RPG thing. You like wandered around to different kingdoms and you had to like overtake kingdoms in a kind of a real-time strategy setting, but then each individual battle was kind of almost like a dumbed down Final Fantasy style battle. I thought it was really fun. I looked up reviews for it, and apparently people do not like this game. I don't know. I thought it was great, but maybe that's because I was like 10, 12 years old at the time, and it was just really easy to impress me. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with it, so if you have a GameCube, you could probably find this for like $2 somewhere, and you know, give it a shot. It's good. I was also a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, which helps. It came with physical Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Come on, I couldn't resist buying it, and I actually enjoyed the game. So for what it's worth. So a lot of these answers, I'll preface the show with, a lot of these answers aren't necessarily underrated games. Like the ratings aren't necessarily bad, but you know, they're in some way overlooked. You know, not as popular as they should be, I guess. And I thought those answers also fit with the spirit of the question, so I picked some of those too. So if you hear a game that you're like, hey, people really like that game, that's not underrated, just relax. It's there's you know, underappreciated games in here too, maybe is a better word for it. Warlock6 from Reddit says Titanfall 2 because EA decided to release it while Battlefield and Call of Duty were being released. TF2 was better than both. Well, the only TF2 I recognize is Team Fortress 2. I'm kidding. Yeah, I never played Titanfall 1 and 2. I played Apex Legends for 1 hour played. And I kind of got in a conversation with this person about like, oh, is it kind of similar to Apex Legends? And he was like, well, Titanfall kind of values agility more. The weapons aren't necessarily as overpowered, stuff like that. And I'm like, sounds like a good shooter. I enjoyed Apex. So sounds like something I would enjoy, but just got overshadowed by the circumstances at the time, which is unfortunate. I don't grammar too good. Hidden in Plain Sight. It's an amazing game on Xbox 360 and Steam. It's meant to be played with 4 people in the same room with controllers. It's so much fucking fun and so simple. Also can make a ton of drinking games from it, has no learning curve, and is cheap as fuck. So I looked up this game after seeing this answer, and it looks ridiculous. It's like it's like this how to describe it? Just a bunch of people wandering around in a room, and you have to like figure out who the actual other person is because you don't know. I'm a little confused, but like I'm sure it's very simple if I'd get into it. But like, how do you not immediately know who the other character is? I guess there's like no marking of your actual character on the screen, so you just kind of have to figure it out by wiggling the controls a little bit. But it looks really fun, and you have to figure out who the other players are. Differentiate them from the NPCs and then kill them, I think. And it looked wicked fun. Like it looked like a game I would get really mad at but then laugh immediately after I got mad, if that makes any sense. Delicious Hot Dog from Reddit. You want to talk? Okay, I picked this answer because it made me laugh really hard. Preface that. You want to talk underrated games? Then you got to throw checkers in the mix. Everyone always sleeping on checkers. Yeah, and maybe the Brits call it draughts or whatever. Is that how I pronounce it? Okay. But check this out, and feel free to disagree, but I think I'm about to make some pretty valid points here. So good luck with that. Checkers is easy to learn, easy to play, easy to win, easy to master. You ever seen two bona fide checkered masters go at it, coin to coin? It'll blow your undies clean off if you don't cream them first. Listen to this, bucko. King me. Ever heard that before? Yeah, checkers is pretty important. Checkers is pretty important to how we talk and interact as an advanced society. You're going to seriously tell me that you're going to turn down a good old-fashioned game of checkers with a kind old man at the park whose wife died 6 years ago and his children and grandchildren hardly ever visit him, and one of the few simple pleasures he gets in life is when a kind stranger takes him up on a challenge to a game of checkers and he just mercilessly whoops your fucking shit right out of your ass. You're gonna sit here and tell me checkers ain't the best game you got? Fuck, bucko. You can make a game of checkers out of scraps of paper and a permanent marker. If you don't like checkers, then you can go get fucked. I guess I should have prefaced this episode with there's a little more cursing in it than the usual episode. When I get good answers, I like to share them relatively uncensored. So, and I think it kind of added to that answer. So, yeah, checkers. Most underrated game. Best answer of everything. Just checkers. Jin88 Reddit of Reddit. Suikoden 2. Probably mispronounced that. Suikoden 2. It was released at the same time as Final Fantasy VII. FF7 was a massive success due to its graphics and massive world. Suikoden 2 did all that with less data, but was seen as cheap sequel to the first one, which was also a success. In reality, 1 to 2 were some of the worst. 1 to 2 were one of the same in terms of story, so it makes sense the graphics and gameplay should be the same. Gotcha. Seems like another one that kind of got, overshadowed by other games coming out at the time, which is unfortunate. Mobile is inferior. I don't know if I agree with that. From Reddit, says Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. And I had to pick this one because I played Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on Wii U. And I think it's on Switch now, I believe. And I had a blast. It's just like a little relaxing game. And I think, the people that played it did like it, but I think it does deserve more attention. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, it just, you're playing Toad from the Mario universe, and you're solving little 3D puzzles by switching your view back and forth and kind of discovering little hidden stuff. It's like, it kind of reminded me of Fez in a weird way, except very 3D, very polished. Definitely a great little puzzle game if you want to check it out. Still Gotti from Reddit. Ghost Trick is a fun and charming puzzle game that about 12 people have played. It's by the people who made Ace Attorney, too. I was really surprised that I had never heard of this game because, I've heard of Ace Attorney several times, and I looked at Ghost Trick and, it looks very similar. It looks set up, very the same way, and I'm like, how did this get buried? Did it just, not get a marketing budget, or, what happened there? How have I never heard of this game, but I've heard of Ace Attorney a million times? And I don't know. That's very interesting to me that I had never known about that. Sertle from Reddit, Europa Universalis 4 makes Civ franchise looks like a kid game. Yeah, I've played Europa Universalis 3 or 4, one of the two, and it quickly became apparent that I know nothing about strategy games. That there are so many moving parts. It's very interesting. I don't think it's for me because I would constantly feel like I'm not doing something right, but they are really, really in depth if you like strategy games. Again, I don't think this one's necessarily underrated because I've heard great things about it from a lot of people, but definitely in the shadow of Civ. If you like really, really in-depth strategy games, check out Europa Universalis series. There's so many decisions to be made, and it's so interwoven, and it's crazy. Red Shirt Decoy from Reddit, Banished. It's a city builder where you have to build up a thriving town while starting with 8 to 12 citizens, very little food, and very little supplies. The amount you start with is based on the difficulty you choose before the game. The game is only about building the town and having your citizens survive the elements. There is no military or attacks from other towns to worry about or manage. While nowhere near Skyrim level support, the game does also have a decent modding community, with mods that add a ton of depth and make the game super easy or more challenging depending on the mods you choose. Sounds really interesting. When I play Civ, that's kind of the part I like the most. You know, or when I play Sins of a Solar Empire, as I mentioned in a different podcast episode, I like just the building aspect sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to have to worry about, you know, other factions trying to kill me. I want to feel the success of growing something that isn't necessarily just you know, for the purpose of going and killing everybody else. It's a nice feeling. Maybe I need to play some more chill RPGs. Maybe, yeah. Fake Philosopher from Reddit. Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. I hardly ever see Zelda fans talking about this game. It's by far the best Zelda and also the best game ever created. Like your passion. I don't think this one's underrated, but yeah, as far as Zelda games go, everybody seems to always mention other ones first before this one. So, and you know, I'll admit it, I haven't played Minish Cap. Maybe I should. Maybe I should pick that one up. I love every Zelda game I've played, but I have not played Minish Cap. But yeah, don't sleep on it. If you're a Zelda fan and you've never heard of Minish Cap, or you know, haven't played it, go play it. Sounds fun. Everybody seems to like it. Tater Dude from Reddit. The Mega Man Battle Network series. I played those games so much when I was a kid, and I love them to death still. The stories were cheesy. They have some really good sprite work. The battle system is unique. I don't think that I've ever seen another game replicate it, and the music is some of the best you'll ever hear on the Game Boy Advance. And come on, Nintendo, only 2 spirits in Smash Bros? Come on. I had a couple friends as kids who loved Mega Man games, and I remember them loving Mega Man Battle Network series. To me, every time I've seen it, it looks like way more fast-paced and almost tactical than other Mega Man games. Maybe I'm wrong about that because I haven't played it myself, but yeah, check it out. KB310 of Reddit. Prey, 2017, has been the most underrated game in recent memory for me. It was my definite game of the year. It has an 82 on Metacritic, sure, but it seems like so few people have actually played it. Anyone who is a fan of BioShock needs to play this game. Amazing atmosphere and level design. Tons of replayability given that how you build your character can completely change how you progress through the levels. My Xbox is at the point where I have to delete games to install anything new, but I'm never uninstalling Prey. It's dedication. Prey is a game that I have seen, I feel like I've seen on Steam a million times, but have just always kind of slept on and never actually got. I do love BioShock. I skipped 2 under people's recommendation, but love BioShock 1, love BioShock Infinite, and yeah, maybe I should give Prey a shot. Maybe I should actually download it instead of just like, oh, it's on sale on Steam, but I'll skip it for now. Good recommendation, thank you. Racelanize, probably pronounced that wrong, from Reddit. I always thought Dead or Alive 3 was one of the best fighting games of all time. There was a perfect rock, paper, scissors thing of strike, grab, counter that when you combined it with going high, middle, low, made for a simple to learn, terribly complex to master fight. It was also gorgeous graphics-wise and so damn responsive. I still remember in middle school when I first played it, and my friends and I played it for years, up until only 2 or so years ago when the old Xbox 360 died. We could go 50 match streaks of being tied match-wise and still got into such a flow that it became more about who could get into whose head psychologically. Arguably the most fun times I've ever had with a video game. Damn. 50 match streaks while being neck and neck. That sounds really intense. Yeah, I love games that are easy to learn, hard to master. Because I honestly have trouble mastering a lot of games, you know, unless I dedicate like hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours. I'm pretty slow to master games. I'm not too much of a good, awesome gamer to admit it. I'm kind of a bad gamer, really, when it comes to actually physically playing them, as you'll see in the 1 hour played series. If you check that out, I'm very bad at a lot of those games. But you know, I appreciate a game that's easy to learn, hard to master, and that's what draws me into games. You know, if I start playing a game and it just like punches me in the face over and over, looking at you, Cuphead, it makes me not want to play. Cuphead's a great game, by the way. I'm not trying to bash Cuphead. It's just it wasn't for me because I started playing it, and I guess it was easy to learn in the sense the controls aren't hard, but not easy to learn in the sense that like it just punches you right in the nose from the get-go. And I'm like, it's not my thing. Actually, but T from Reddit, Vagrant Story for PS1. It doesn't get mentioned nearly enough. If you like the Souls series, this might be in your wheelhouse. Very challenging, a sweet combo system that demands your attention with every move and choice you make. One of Squaresoft's best. Also, Forgotten Realms Demon Stone for PS2. I think it was on PC too. A sweet little action RPG based on D&D lore with great voice acting. Patrick Stewart and a cool story. Wow, Patrick Stewart did some voice acting for this game? Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for the recommendation. Sundown Kid from Reddit. Rise, Son of Rome. Metascore 61. I'd give it an 80. I had owned an Xbox One, and I actually thought about getting Rise, Son of Rome, but I don't know. I was like, there's a couple other games I want instead. Honestly, I just bought Rock Band and started just playing the hell out of that, so I didn't have time for Rise. But I heard people were very disappointed by it, and that kind of bummed me out. I was like, that was supposed to be like one of the big release titles for Xbox One, right? And from what I could gather from the conversations I had from this comment, it was basically just too short. There just wasn't enough in it. Like, what was in it was good, but there just wasn't enough there. He also mentioned God Hand, Metascore 73. He'd give it an 85. And Baton Kaitos, Metascore 75. I'd give it a 95. I remember my friend in high school having a big old Baton Kaitos poster. And I never played the game, but I always loved that poster. Loved it enough to stick in my horrible memory for like 15 years, so... Nyugpun from Reddit. Some of these names, man, I swear you guys make your Reddit names just to trip me up. Shadow Warrior 2. For fans of that genre, looter shooter, at least as good as Borderlands 2. Even better in my opinion because it has a crafting component system. So if you guys can't wait until the new Borderlands 3 that everybody's super hyped about this week, then go check out Shadow Warrior 2. Good recommendation. Thank you. Senora Papaya says, The Sinew Project. Sinhao? There's no N in there. I can't pronounce shit. SEIHOU Project. It's extremely obscure, and it's unlikely anybody's heard of it. It's a series of bullet hells that were released in the early 2000s and haven't been sold since. Unless you want to drop $1,000 at an auction. Damn. There are 3 games. I can't pronounce any of these. There's 3 games. There are 3 games, I'll say that. SG is a fairly simple, let's see. There's SG, KG, and B. I'll refer to them as those because I don't know how to pronounce these. SG is a fairly simple but quite fun shoot 'em up, and it's great extra stage features a cameo from the other main characters. KG is a versus shooter compared with Twinkle Star Sprites and Phantasmagoria of Dim Dream. You know so many games that I don't know. Damn. It's quite fun, especially if you can exploit the AI. There's also netplay, but I don't know how that works. BSR is a much harder version, is a much harder version of SG with a lot of focus on using bombs, reflexes, and memorization. It comes in 2 versions. The original C67 version is better, but the re-release C74 version has great boss rush stage. The gameplay is top-notch. The music is wonderful, composed by the same person who made songs for the first 2. The characters are all memorable, and it's a solid choice if you like shoot-'em-up games. Obviously, you probably won't buy the games, but you can easily search for a download. So I'm sure there's some emulators out there. So SEIHOU, Sehu Project, right? Is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, yeah, I looked at this after reading this comment, and it looks really fun. It looks like it would actually be really good on mobile if they wanted to put it on mobile. It looks very easy to control, maybe with just a thumb, and I like that. But those are all the answers we have for this week. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Big Shiny Coin Podcast. If you did, join the Discord. I'm trying to grow that community over there. Go to somberdonstudios.com and click the Join the Discord button at the top. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching this on Apple, subscribe. subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me what I can do better. Tell me questions that you would like to know down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. I'm really trying to come up with, unique questions that I'm trying not to come up with questions just like, what's your favorite game? What's your favorite this genre? What's your favorite that genre? I'm trying to make people think about their answers, if that makes sense, which seems to be working well so far. So big thanks to Reddit again for giving me a lot of answers. They had literally every answer this week. So yeah, join the Discord, follow me on the socials down in the description if you're listening on YouTube, and I will see you next time. Peace.